Hello there. Are you looking to own a house anytime soon? You must be really worried, and believe me, you should be. The American dream of owning a home is becoming a nightmare for many as the housing market spirals out of control. With interest rates at an all-time high, many are struggling to keep up with mortgage payments, let alone think of purchasing a house. This video will update you about what's cooking in the Fed interest zone, and will examine the impact of high interest rates on the future of prospective home buyers. It's a tough time to be a home buyer in America. Let's start by saying this first. We aren't in the affordable housing market era anymore, and to be honest, it hurts. I mean, who doesn't want a house of their own, right? But these skyrocketing interest rates are causing a frenzy in the housing market, and so many people are struggling to afford even a modest home. But why are the prices out of everybody's range? Americans have nowhere to go with the inflation, job layoffs, and high interest rates all trying to chase after them. Year after year, the real estate market is going up. According to the latest data, housing prices in the U.S. continue to rise significantly, with a year-over-year growth of 12.2% in September 2022. This comes after a year-over-year increase of 17% in the previous quarter, indicating a slightly slower but unforgiving rate. This data reached its all-time peak high in September of 2021, when the figure showed a whopping 18.7%. And just to remind you that in March 2009, it was negative 11.9%, which feels almost like a dream now. The Fed has been on an interest-raising spree since last year. The federal funds rate has been increasing at a rate of 1/4 to 0.5%, and the last increment was a 25 basis points increase, landing the interest rate from 4.50% to 4.75%. This means that in just 1 year, they've increased it by 4.5%. Some major tech companies like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon have made headlines due to their extreme level layoffs and have fired over 70,000 employees in just a year's time, and more fresh ones announced recently. All of this is also due to the higher interest rates, rising inflation, slowing growth, and companies struggling to keep their businesses afloat. Imagine the state of mind these employees must be in if they were on a house hunt already and are now jobless. This proves that high interest rates are damaging not only to businesses, but people who are looking to buy a house. And if we talk about the inflation rate, currently it's at 6.4% after peaking at 9.1% in June 2022. So what is the government doing to combat this situation? Chairman of the Fed, Jerome Powell, recently held a press conference to answer some of the burning questions we all have as struggling Americans. But did he really answer the questions or beat about the bush? Well, let's have a look. If you had any expectation as to hear some good news, well, that didn't happen. Instead, Mr. Powell said that they'll keep raising the rates until the inflation rate comes down to the desired 2%. Well, what does this mean for home prices? Well, bad news. He acknowledged the slowdown of activity in the housing sector is due to the rising mortgage rates, which is fair to say, but wait for it. He also said that the unemployment rate is at a 50-year low. Job vacancies are still very high, the wage growth has elevated, and job gains have been robust. He goes on to tell us that there's a rise in employment, with an average of 247,000 jobs over the last 3 months. But where's the data he's getting even coming from? We've seen so many reported job losses. Consumer goods are becoming more and more unaffordable, and house prices are through the roof. I mean, the ground reality isn't a little different. He said the Fed is seeing the effects of their policy actions on demand in the most interest-sensitive sectors of the economy, particularly housing. What's even worse is that we haven't really seen the full effects of their monetary restraint to be realized, especially on inflation, yet. Lastly, he said it clearly that inflation in the housing sector will continue to move up for a while before coming back down. He didn't say how long this while is going to be. Liking the video so far? Hit that like button if you do, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated. Now, let's continue with the video. High interest rates mean high mortgage, and a high mortgage means a challenging situation for Americans. Should they pay the bills or pay the mortgage? It's getting out of hand for millions of people in the low-income sector to be able to afford housing. The fixed mortgage average in the country has hiked from 2.65% in January of 2021 to 6.12% this month after peaking at 7.08% in November last year. The constant increase in interest rates has single-handedly sent the mortgage levels to soaring heights we haven't seen since the 80s. Home buyers have been overpaying when it comes to house prices for years now. Many of these houses were lived in, and the owners did not properly maintain them, and as a result, the houses have problems or issues that are not apparent to the buyer. When these houses are put on the market, the owners ask for a higher price than what the house is worth, and the buyers end up paying that price unaware of the issues or problems that may arise later. The new owner only realizes the repairing cost that they now have to bear only after they've purchased the house. So now you've got to pay the mortgage and fix the house that you bought at an incredibly unfair price. Now the housing market has become a playground for the wealthy. They buy the houses, wait for the real estate market to climb, and sell them without even making the house condition better. The homeowner has no choice but to fix the house issues and continue with the mortgage payments to keep their house in their hands. As of now, an average American citizen is in more debt than ever before. According to a recent study by NerdWallet, an average American household owes roughly $165,000, which is 8% higher than last year. The rising interest rates are making it harder to pay off credit card dues, which is about $7,500 per household, 28% more than last year. These figures are astounding and create a frenzy in the housing sector as well. Inflation coupled with high interest rates is leaving an average American with very little money compared to what their parents used to save. This is making it extremely difficult to get by day to day because we have to pay more for the same things that we used to buy at a lower cost not so long ago. Gas prices have also risen, which creates a ripple effect on the cost of transportation, as increased fuel prices can lead to increased prices for other goods and services that require transportation. People are working longer hours and taking on additional jobs to make ends meet, leading to exhaustion, stress, and a lack of work-life balance. If we talk about the housing sector, when the prices of home improvement items and services increase due to inflation, it becomes more expensive for homeowners to repair or improve their homes. Plus, the buyers can't even sell their bought house and get rid of it because they know they won't get the price they paid for it. This means you're stuck with a house that A, you don't even like, and B, you can't sell off. As we've been told by Jerome Powell that the rise in interest rates is going to continue for a while, this means that people looking to buy a home will have to pay more in interest on their mortgage, which can make it harder to afford. On the other hand, those looking to sell their home may also be affected, as higher interest rates can lead to fewer buyers in the market, which can drive down home prices and cause heavy losses. Signs of a recession are appearing all around us, and they are only strengthening with each passing day. Are Americans on the verge of defaulting on their mortgage payments simply because they can't afford to pay them? Is this another housing market crash upon us? Only time will tell. All we can do is make decisions carefully while buying and selling real estate and hope for the best. If you like this video, we're sure you'll also like other informative videos on our channel, so do check them out. And please hit that like button if you haven't already done so and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. And in the end, thank you for watching.